Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give infinity honors to our Lord and Savior, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Kakbadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well in true sincerity. Salutations to the shepherds of Berea camp. Salutations to the house of David, man, women, and children out there pushing his word in truth and sincerity. And the hopeful elect when the Most High raise you up in a speedily fashion. It's Brother Karak Kahan from the shepherds of Berea camp. And, we're just going to bring out a few scriptures, man, because, we're in a society where a lot of y'all people still believe in this captivity, man. Because, best be sure that this is captivity, okay? This is spiritually Sodom and Gomorrah. This is spiritually Rome. This is spiritually the daughter of Babylon. And guess what? This is also spiritually Egypt, man, amongst other things, all right? And a lot of y'all continue to have y'all trust in a place that was set up to be your bondage, man, okay? Y'all go out there, y'all protest, y'all believe that, somehow you're going to be able to accumulate so much money and funds that, all the children of Israel will be free. And when I say children of Israel, I mean you so-called blacks, Latinos, and American Indians, that you're going to be free and be able to prosper and, move away. But that's not going to happen, man. Okay, scriptures tell you, there's nothing new under the sun. All right, and we're going to bring out, some scriptures, to bring this aspect more home, man. All right, so we got Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19. It says, verse 1, as for the ungodly, wrath came upon them without mercy unto the end. For he knew before what they would do. And who knew? Yahweh knew, okay? The Most High knew. Which means what? The Most High already perceived their thoughts of what was going to happen. And what is this talking about? This is talking about the time of Egypt, okay? He's talking about the time of Egypt, man. All right, and he already knew what? That Pharaoh wouldn't listen. Okay, he knew that Pharaoh wasn't going to listen to them, man. All right? How did he know that? You know what? Let's get a little backstory on this, man. Let's stop right here. All right, and let's unpack this a little bit. Let's go to Exodus 14, and let's start at 1. All right? Because what you got to understand in modern times, dealing with these devils, okay, dealing with the modern day Pharaoh, okay, which right now is Joe Biden. And then even amongst that, who do you have? You have these elites, man. And they're the ones that run everything, okay, and the wicked hand side in this world. All right? So let's bring it home. We got Exodus 14 and 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Haraph, between Magadu, Migdol, Salakia, and the sea, over against Baal Zaphon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. Verse 3, it says, for Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness have shut them in. Verse 4, we're going to bring this home in a second. Just want to bring out certain things. Verse 4, it says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. You see that, man? So the Lord was already letting it be known that, listen, guess what, man? The Pharaoh is already going to have a plan that he's not going to allow this to happen. Why? Because I'm going to harden his heart. So that when it is a time for you guys to leave, and we're going to keep reading on so you can see what I'm talking about, guess what? I'm going to harden his heart, man. And it's going to be what? For who? The Lord's honor, man. Because that's what America's all about. Everything that you're seeing going on with America has never been touched, man. America's the one that go to other places and drop atomic bombs. America's the one that goes to other places and just drops bombs in general, man. Go over there and set up their embassies, okay, and their philosophies. Nobody has truly touched America, man. And that's why they're extremely prideful. But guess what? That's the Lord that's putting the spirit on America to make them prideful like that, man. And why is that? So that they could feel like, no, they can't be touched. So it'll be even more glorious to spread out Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah's name in that time when he destroys this place, man. Okay? So let's continue on. I believe I've read the rest of that just in case. It says that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. Right, verse 5. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled. Right. And the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants were turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? So think about that, man. Let me read this part right here real quick and then I'll expound. Verse 6, and he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. You see that? So let's step back for a second. Like the priest on One My Young would say through the spirit, instead of being on the couch watching TV, be on the TV and look at the couch. Look at the room from a different perspective. Okay, let's bring this to modern times. Just imagine, right? If we was in these times right now, and as much as America always says, oh, they care about the children of Israel, and oh, we want to give you out a vaccine first, and we care about your well-being. If a situation was set up right now, where the Lord came back, right, and he just, parted, the Pacific Sea and the Atlantic Sea and said, you know what, y'all could come on home to Israel, okay? All you so-called blacks, Latino, Native American Indians, y'all could all depart America. Do you think that America would allow that? Huh? As much as they try to push that we care for you and your welfare and Medicaid and all their food stamps and all this stuff, acting like they're trying to help you, huh? As much as they do their hedge funds and act like they're trying to give you all these different grants and things of that nature, do you think they will allow that to happen? Really picture that. No, they would not allow that to happen. Here it is, you had Donald Trump that built a wall. Huh? He built a wall, man, to separate Mexico from the United States. Well, it's all the same land, but we're gonna get into that in a minute. But the point of the fact, he built a wall, and guess what? A lot of y'all look at it like, yeah, he built the wall to keep them out. No, he built that wall to keep us in. Because this is one big concentration camp, man. These people have drones, okay? They have fighter pilots, fighter planes, okay? They have certain bombs, okay, that go off and will just suck in the air around you. You think they would really allow that to happen, man? So they come in that same spirit. So a lot of y'all people out there that feel like, oh, America's for your well-being and they really care for you, you are mistaken, man. It's the concept of what they would say that good cop, bad cop, man. They all on the same team. And I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about in general, because you do have good police officers out there. I'm talking about the concept of, they interrogating you and one acts like you're good so they could get you to expose yourself, and one acts like they're bad. The bad one comes in first, so you put your guard down for the good one. That's what that is. That's what they're doing in this society. They give you what? Entertainment. They give you Medicaid. They give you all these things that make you feel like they care about you. But inwardly, man, they're nothing but devils. Because if that was the case, they would have been trying to bring you back to Israel, right? I'm not saying that we're trying to go back there, but they want to keep you here, man. Okay? Verse 7. It says, and he took 600 chosen chariots. Look at that, man. 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. You see that? So why did he do that, man? Let's continue on. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel, and the children of Israel went out with an high hand. You see that, man? Salakia. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand, man. So Pharaoh pursued after them, okay? And he knew that they would be by the waters, okay? So what do you think was in his mind, huh? What do you think? Let me read this last one, and I'll expound. Verse 9, but the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, and his horsemen, and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea. Besides Pipharoth before Baal-Zephon. You see that? So what was the point, man? The point was that even with that and them leaving, and mind you, keep in mind, this is Pharaoh now. He's the same one, okay, that said the children of Israel could go. Now all of a sudden, he had to change of heart. Wait a minute. We can't let them go. The Most High hardened his heart, man, and he came what for war? It wasn't to bring them back. You really think that he went over there with those chariots to bring them back? No, it was to slaughter them, man. The Most High had all those plagues going on. Okay, he lost his son. All the firstborns were dead. No, he went there for rage, for death, man. Okay, and that's the same concept that America would have if we was to try to get up out of here. So y'all need to stop relying on Egypt, man. Y'all need to start relying more on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah to bring us out. Because this place is nothing but death, man. But let's go back. I just wanted to bring that point more home so we can really understand in deepness, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 19 and this verse 1 right here. So going to verse 2, it says, how that having given them leave to depart and sent them hastily away, they would repent and pursue them. Yeah, man. You see that? You see that? So what are they? What is that called, man? That's called truce breakers. That's a truce breaker right there. Because that's exactly what they did. They broke their truce. They stated that you could leave. And then after that, they pursued them to slaughter them, man. Okay? And it's many times throughout the scriptures that we've seen that. And what's one of the times that we've seen that here in America, man? Okay, we've seen that plenty of times. But what's one of the times we've seen that here in America, man? Huh? You know what? Let's get it, man. We're gonna bring out this quick little article, and this actually was published November 10th, 2020. Okay, so a few months ago. But I just thought it was heavy to the spirit. We're just gonna bring out two aspects, but I advise y'all Akim out there, to really get a good read at this, man, because it's heavy. It says broken treaties with Native American Indians. Timeline, okay? Which that timeline still goes on, but for the gist of it right here, we're just gonna go with this. It says from 1778, okay, to 1871. So you're talking about almost 100 years. This devil's been breaking treaties, man, with the Native American Indians. Okay, which are the Israelites. It says the United States signed some 368 treaties with various indigenous people across the Native American continent. And we just going to bring out some things here, but we know it was more than 368 because they're not going to give you exactly every single thing because this is still a public article. And they gotta bring out some of this stuff because they know it's history, but they're going to water it down a little bit as well, Akim. Because they hate, when history is brought out on them. Because it shows their wickedness, man. Okay, let's bring out this one right here. But like I said, there's a lot of concepts. It says Treaty of Hopewell. It says 1785 to 86. It says in the years following the Revolutionary War, Andrew Pickens and other commissioners of the new U.S. government concluded three highly similar treaties with the Cherokee, the Choctaw, Salaki if I'm getting these wrong, and Cherokee nations at Hopewell. You see, and the thing is called Hopewell, man. All right, so and that's what it is. Yeah, Hopewell, because they ain't doing you right. It says Pickens Plantation Home in Northwest South Carolina. It says, continuing on, collectively known as the Treaty of Hopewell, these agreements extended the fellowship and protection of the United States to the southern Native American tribes. All three ended with the same sentence: the hatchet shall be forever buried, and peace given by the United States of America. So they basically stating that, by them going over there, what? They're offering peace. By them going over there and slaughtering you, guess what? We're going to do a peace treaty now. Mind you, this whole thing right here is an abomination because these settlers, okay, Esau, the wicked of this world, right? They are the ones, all right, that went over there and slaughtered the Native American Indians. Mind you, it was their land first. There's no such thing as Christopher Columbus discovered America. No, he went over there and he raped, robbed, and pillaged America, okay? And y'all called it America. It wasn't called America at first, okay? They went over there, they slaughtered them. Okay, they made an agreement with what part of the lands they could have as if it was your right to do that in the first place. And then still broke your treaties, man. Could you imagine that? Imagine somebody coming to your house, tell you, they taking half of that over, then say, you know what, you can have this part. And then still take that part from you, man. It says, despite this sentiment, white settlers were already moving onto the lands designated for the Cherokee. You see that? So even within that treaty, they still broke it, man. They still broke it. Why? Because these people are devils, man. And the truth is not in them. It says leading, and that's the same thing that they do now. What are they doing now? It's something called gentrification, man. Huh? They done put you in slavery, brought you to this land, had you work for them, okay? Had you build up this whole society for them, put you in the ghettos and slums and project, okay? Call the project so they can see how much you bug out when they put you under certain conditions. And then they try to take that away from you, man. Huh? They start moving to into your neighborhoods, which means what? Now they can bring up the property value. And they bring up the property value, why? So they can box you out because they know that you can't afford to stay there. If your rent is what? $3,000. What Jake you know is paying $3,000 just for rent alone, man? For a studio apartment. Huh? So even within that, they box you out, man. But let's continue. It says, leading to more conflict and the Treaty of Helston, 1791, in which the Cherokee fortified still more land. Forfeited still more land, which means what? They took it over by force, man. So you think that if America was to make a treaty with you, so-called blacks, like Latinos, Native American Indians, if they was to actually make a treaty with you and say, you know what, Jack and go, and everybody's getting all in arms and happy and jumping up and down. Matter of fact, they had a Chappelle show like that, man, where everybody got their reparations and jumping up and down. You think that's ever gonna happen to y'all, man? They gave reparations to y'all so-called to Amalek, you know, gave them the land of Israel. Okay, they made treaties with everybody, but with us, they never do that. And if they do, they're gonna break it, man. So why do y'all still love the devil when the devil give you nothing? Let me bring out one last one, and then I'm gonna bring out some. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. You know, let's stay right there. Let me bring out the scripture real quick. We got Psalms 55 and 20. It says, he put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. You see that, man? He's a covenant breaker. He's a covenant breaker, man. This is all about, look, this is all about breaking covenants right here, man. Making and breaking covenants. We was at peace with him. That's what that peace treaty was about. And he still broke it. Look at this right here, man. These devils. Come on, man. You don't even know what they gave her a blanket. It's probably smallpox on this blanket, man. You know, that leads to the next one. It says what? Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. You see that, man? And that's what they do. They come in this caring fashion. Okay? They come in this caring fashion, man. All right, right here, coming in this caring fashion. You know, we care for you. Here's a blanket, but war is in his heart. Probably smallpox on that thing. Same thing with America. They come what? With this caring fashion, man. Their words are smoother than butter. How are their words smoother than butter, man? Because these are the same ones that on their media, they constantly talking about, you know, BLM, you know, Black Lives Matter, and, you know, we got to help them. But who's behind Black Lives Matter? George Soros, man. The damn devil. Okay? They're the ones that set up these funds to give you a false illusion that they care for you. But war was in his heart. Right? Why? Because within that BLM, what do you have? Sodomitism. That's for your destruction. Because how do you reproduce from sodomitism? Huh? Why do they allow that? The freaking heads of it, or should I say the figureheads of it that you see, these three women, man, they sodomites. So what does that show you? It says his words were smoother than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right, yet were they drawn swords, man. And that's exactly what happened here. Let me bring one more out. Then we're gonna get out of here. Let me bring this one. Treaty of Greenville. It says 1795. It says, as more white settlers moved west into the Great Lake region, a Native American confederacy, including the Shawnee and Delaware, who had already been driven westward by U.S. expansion, as well as the Miami, the Ottawa, the Ojibwa, and Potawatomi, against Lucky if I'm getting that wrong, Getting tongue twisters over here. It says mounted an armed resistance beginning in the late 1970s. You see, so what's this about? It says after U.S. troops under General Mad, nickname Mad, and that's exactly what they are. These are mad men, sparing nothing, man. It says Anthony Wayne defeated them in the Battle of Fallen Timbers. Miami Chief Little Turtle and other native leaders. Salaki, I'm trying to get that word. Sadid. I wonder if I could look that up real quick. To give up, okay. To give up power of territory. Okay, con. It says Sadid large parts of what would become Iowa, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin in the Greenville Treaty. You see that, man? So what happened? Slovakia. So what happened, man? These people did what? Like always, they took over. Here it is, y'all made a treaty, and these people still took over, man. And took over large parts. Okay? They seceded. If I'm saying that correctly. Matter of fact, I wonder, does it have something here to say it? Nah. Con. You see that, man? So that's heavy. That just lets you know that this devil is constantly always in that spirit of conquering, man. All right? And that spirit of deception, of making treaties with you, having you have a false hope, and then taking it away. And that's the society that we're in, man. We're in America, okay? The land of the proud, okay? Cutthroat, all right? It says, but the treaty provided only short-term resolution, as continued U.S. expansion quickly nullified its effect. Let's see. So like y'all just reading something here real quick. Okay, con. We read that again. It says, but the treaty provided only short-term solution and continued U.S. expansion quickly nullified its effect. By 1808, Shawnee War Chief Tashumash had organized a native confederacy to mount armed resistance to continued U.S. siege, seizure of Native American lands. You see that, man? So they did that, made a treaty. It was short term and still continued on. And that's what America does now. They make treaties and make all these different sanctions and things of that nature, and they still try to take over lands, man. And that's the spirit that Egypt is coming in, okay? Okay, we read this. Let me get this one right here. We got Sirach. Bring this on home. Sirach 12 and 16. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. Right, man. Again, and how do they speak sweetly with their lips? It don't always gotta be them physically talking to you. Why? Through their media, okay? Constantly telling you that they care for your welfare. Constantly, creating debates and creating all these different narratives on Clubhouse and what can we do to bring in reparations for you so-called blacks and Latinos and Native Americans. Meanwhile, it'll be the damn Edomite that controls the narrative, that's setting up these chats, okay, for you to talk about it, but they're never going to hand that to you. They're never going to give you that. These are the same ones that talk about, giving you, providing you with resources through their hedge funds and all these different aspects, man. And they talk sweetly. Okay, they say they care for you. Guess what? There's a pandemic. We want y'all to be the first to receive this vaccine. Because we don't want nothing to happen to you. We're sorry for what we did with slavery. When they're not. But in their heart, they're trying to put you into a ditch. Because what's in those vaccines? Nothing but death, man. Okay? Nanotechnology. okay, swine, okay. You know, it's been documented they had shark parts in there, abominable foods that we're not supposed to be taking as a people, ingesting. Okay, you got people that's dying from it. You know, getting Bell's palsy. It says, continuing, he will wipe with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. You see that? He will, Salakia, he will weep with his eyes. Salakia, slow it down. He will weep with his eyes, and that's what they do. They weep with their eyes. Okay. They are constantly talking about trying to give back. You know what? Here's a stimulus check. You know, we're sorry that you got to go through what you're going through. You know, we're going to do whatever we can. You know, matter of fact, let's set up funds, you know, for all you so-called African Americans and all, you know, all your businesses that you're trying to do. You know, more African American businesses, more black-owned businesses. Yeah, we're going to help you out. Let's create let's create all these different grants to help you out. Yeah, but what does it say? But if he found opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And that's what it is. They're not satisfied with blood, okay? Here it is. They kill you 24/7 and shoot you down dead in the streets of America, okay? And that's not enough, because they say, okay, yeah, we kicked on that's not enough. What we gotta do now? Okay, you know what we're gonna do now? Okay, let's give them a vaccine. Okay, so this way we could really destroy them, okay? So we could really give them all type of ailments. Oh, no, that's not enough. Okay, let's go for the youth. You know what? Let's put all these sodomite classes in their use from young. Okay, let's have these kids learn about LGBT. Okay, let's try to, you know, force them to become more sodomites, man. You know what? That's not enough. Okay, you know what? Let's kidnap these kids, okay? And let's cipher off their melanin so we could use it for our own body, man, and our own resource. You know what? Damn, that's not enough. See, that's what's in their mind, man. That's what's in their mind. Constantly thinking of worse ways to afflict you, man. Okay, and that's Egypt. Okay? So, and they understand that Egypt is run off of wickedness. So it's in their best interest to keep you here. Because as long as they keep you here and they keep pushing out their wicked agenda and brainwashing you to thinking that it's okay to sin, that replenishes them because they live off of sin. Okay? Because they are the wicked. So if you leave, that destroys their whole infrastructure. So they're not going to allow you to leave. Again, picture that. If the Lord's come back right now and part the seas and say, you know, come back to the land of Israel. Guess what? They got all these different drones. They got all these different tanks. Back then, when you're dealing with Pharaoh, he had chariots, man. He had horses. And they had swords. Just imagine now with the technology that Esau has. Huh? These dudes got cloaking devices. Okay? They got freaking bombs that'll bomb the hell out of the sea to try to make everything crush back down. Huh? These dudes got semiotic weapons. You know, their military has grown vastly since then, man. Okay? Their technology. Why? Because the Most High is building them up. They was given the blessing of the sword. The Most High is building them up. Why? So it could be an even greater fall. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai's name could be published all throughout the world, man. And this is going to be the last fall, okay? Let me tell you that. Thus say the truth. This is going to be the last fall, man. All right? So y'all Hakim Akwaf out there, stop having faith in this society, man. Stop feeling like these people care for you. Stop, you know, saying, oh, yeah, they care for us. That's why they tell us to wear masks and they making vaccines. No, it's for your destruction, man. It will never be for your benefit, okay? So stop having, you know, trust in this wicked society, which is Egypt. Okay, so pray this has been edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Wadash. I'd like to give infinity honors to our Lord Savior, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well in true sincerity. Special salutations to the shepherds of Berea camp. Salutations to the house of David, man, women, and children out there preaching the word of truth and sincerity. Special salutations to the hopeful elect. May the Most High raise you up in a speedily fashion. Till next time, Lord willing. Shalom.